And now for the starting line, starting with the visitor Seahawks of St. Mary's College. At guard, senior number 3, Olivia Nolan. At guard, senior number 4, Carrie Klein. At forward, junior number 30, Cody Cheney. At guard, junior number 32, Katie Brody.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Southern Virginia University basketball from the Knight Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by Nash Jones, and we are ready to bring you Knights basketball today from the Knight Sports Arena as Southern Virginia gets ready to host the St. Mary's Seahawks. And Southern Virginia really needs this one in the Capital Athletic Conference. The Knights are 5-10 in the conference as we get ready to have the Knights starting lineup announced. And they are right now a game behind Frostburg, so the Knights really have to win this game today, Nash, and then they got to turn around and beat Frostburg at home on Wednesday. And if they can do that, they would be in pretty good shape. As you see that Corey Stout, the great point guard, will be one of the starters today for the Southern Virginia Knights. Jamila Gamby will also be starting today. The Knights are coming off a loss to Christopher Newport last Wednesday. Alexis Barnes will also be getting the start today at a power forward slot for the Knights. And then the big players up front, it'll be Katie Garrish, who had a monster game against Christopher Newport and then lost to CNU on Wednesday, and Shelby Butler. Getting back to the conference standings again, Nash, the Knights are again right now trailing Frostburg by a game. Frostburg is 6-9. The Knights are 5-10 of the conference. Frostburg's playing a very tough Marymount team today, so if Marymount were to beat Frostburg and the Knights were able to win today, they would both be 6-10. The Knights have already beaten Frostburg. If they can beat him, then on Wednesday, they would be in great shape once again for making the Capital Conference postseason tournament. So once again, the Knights, to a certain degree, with these two home games coming up today and Wednesday, really control their own destiny.
Yeah, the Knights only one game behind Frostburg, and Frostburg playing a tough Marymount team today, number 1 in the conference. They should have a good game against them, and we should have a good game tonight. As last game we saw Katie Garrish go off for 19 points and 15 rebounds.
And 8 block shots, too.
And 8 block shots, which was insane. Great game for her, even though it was a tough loss. Really, last game, the big thing was turnovers. The Knights suffered 41 turnovers.
Knights defeated St. Mary's in the first game between these two teams back in early January on the road at St. Mary's by 7 points. Knights will try to get off to a good start, and they do with Shelby Butler hitting the jumper. And now the Knights will go with that backcourt pressure. The Knights only won one conference game last season. That was a home game against St. Mary's. They're hoping to repeat that magic today. And again, hoping to climb a little closer, maybe tie Frostburg in the conference standings for 6th place. St. Mary's, they come in with a record of 3-12 in the conference and 7-14 overall. They're simply trying to pick up a couple of wins down the stretch. Long three-pointer for Frostburg, St. Mary's no good by Nowlin. And the Knights with a 2-0 lead and the ball. Pass down low is knocked away. Scramble for the loose ball. It's picked up by the Knights with 15 on the shot clock. And Stout's jumper is blocked. Still now 10 on the shot clock. Barnes will fire up a long three, no good. The ball's on the floor. Shot clock hasn't reset yet. And now St. Mary's finally grabs the basketball.
What a big little hustle play right there. Looked like Barnes almost ended up getting her own rebound right there. Just wasn't able to get down there fast enough.
Knights never able to hit the iron, so the shot clock never reset. And a missed hook shot by St. Mary's by Cheney. And back comes Jamila Gamby. They look inside for Butler, who had the first basket, and she's got the second basket. You wonder how much this press is really going to bother St. Mary's today. As Carrie Klein gets it across the timeline, passes over to Purcell, but her shot from the wing is too wild, but the rebound goes to Cheney. Now Roby will take the outside jumper. It's no good, and Barnes grabs the rebound as St. Mary's really cold here in this first quarter. Gamby's going to try a rare three-pointer. It's no good on the shot. It was short, and it's going to be St. Mary's basketball. Jamila Gamby has not shot too many three-pointers this season, or at least attempted them.
Jamila Gamby being a really big key leader on this Southern Virginia basketball team. As we saw a couple games ago, she came away with, I think it was 21 points in the game, being the leading scorer.
Against Marymount, yep. Another miss by St. Mary's, 4-0 Knights. And they've got the ball and a chance to increase a 4-point lead as Barnes going coast to coast, misses the layup. Had a good look at a layup. And the rebound to St. Mary's. It's Roby the other way with a jump shot, and she nails it. First basket of the game for the Seahawks. Gamby open, now over to Butler, who's got both baskets. They're looking inside for Garish. They go over to the right side, now inside to Butler, and she's got her third basket of this first quarter.
You know, the Knights are going to win this game if they can just keep doing that the whole night. Butler just sitting down low, sitting in the key real fast and getting that pass and just getting a nice little touch shot just right off the glass.
Knights have a 6-2 lead. The other way, Cheney missing the jump shot. And here come the Knights with a 4-point lead in the ball. Up court to Alexis Barnes. Barnes down low passing inside, knocked away by St. Mary's. And they're going to say jump ball. The possession arrow will favor the Seahawks as Brittany Ballum will check in, replacing Gamby, the first substitution of the game. Katie Garish, just an amazing game she had Wednesday, as you mentioned, Nash. Points, rebounds, block shots, you name it. And St. Mary's gets the jump shot to go. Carrie Klein making the basket to make it 6-4. But the pass up court is a turnover on the part of Corey Stout. Turnovers were a big problem, as you mentioned, Nash, on Wednesday at CNU. In the home game against Christopher Newport, I think the Knights had 52 turnovers, but as you mentioned, Wednesday on the road at CNU, they had over 40 turnovers.
Yeah, 41 turnovers, which was really tough for Southern Virginia. They also shot 38%, which isn't the greatest, but that CNU team is a really good team, and it was just a tough game for the Knights.
Mallon missing the shot. Butler is called for a travel, though, on the other end. So St. Mary's has struggled shooting the ball here in the first few minutes, Nash, but the Knights have had a few turnovers, and as a result, they only have a 2-point lead. It could easily be a 6 or an 8-point lead. Seahawks get it across the timeline. Stout with the steal, loses the ball. Purcell picks it up. Good defense by Corey Stout. Roby around Nicole Muse. And now we're going to have a foul call on Nicole Muse, who just came into the game. She missed most of the last couple of seasons due to injury. Nicola Jr., and she's had some big shots this season for the Knights.
Yeah, Nicole Muse being kind of a sharpshooter on this team.
Bodies hit the floor. Got another foul call against Southern Virginia. That one is Katie Garish picking up her first foul. And quickly a couple of team fouls against the Knights. Olivia Nallen will inbound the ball, and she does to Purcell, and she makes the basket, and suddenly we're tied at 6. And now there's backcourt pressure and a steal by Roby for St. Mary's. Seahawks took the Knights, I think, a little off guard with that defensive backcourt pressure.
Yeah, I don't think Corey Stout really got to see that defender right there. She just kind of came in and stole that ball away.
Missed by Cheney. Stout rebounding. Stout up court in a hurry. Passing inside to Butler, and she can't get the turnaround to go. Had another good look at it, though. Shelby Butler has all 6 of the Knights' points in this first quarter. Still, we're tied at 6. Cross-court pass. Jump shot. Out by 3-point range by Klein is missed. Knights come back. Stout grabbing another rebound. And Muse had her shot blocked, and a foul is called on Klein. And Nicole Muse will go to the foul line. So Klein picks up her first. That's the team's first for St. Mary's. And Muse will give the Knights the lead here at 7-6 where that first foul shot is. Barnes also checks back in, replacing Garish. So you got Stout, Ballum, and Muse out there along with Butler and Alexis Barnes as Nicole Muse hits 2 big foul shots to give the Knights an 8-6 lead. St. Mary's trying to work it up court against pressure. Getting to the half-court line, then a double team. Nowlin almost lost the ball. Got it away to a teammate. Back to Olivia Nowlin. She drives baseline and scores. And we're tied at 8. Barnes down low, posting up. Back outside to Butler for the foul line. Jumper, and she hits it. Butler has all 4 baskets in this first quarter for the Knights. McHugh's with a couple of foul shots, and that has been the scoring so far here in this first period as the Knights lead 10-8.
Yeah, Butler doing a really good job down low. Alexis Barnes going down low. Shelby Butler finding her way out to hit that free throw line jumper.
Kobe Cheney was able to post up her defender and score to make it 10-10. And now the Knights will try to break this tie with the basket down low to Butler. Turn around, up and good again. She now has 5 baskets in this first quarter.
And that's all Butler's got to do is just sit down there, let her teammates give her the ball, and she's just got to get that bank shot off the glass.
Here's a 3-pointer by Morin. She misses. Rebound comes away to Stout. I think that's 3 rebounds in this first quarter for Corey Stout. And the Knights with a 2-point lead. Stout with a jumper and left it short. Battle for the rebound. Knights grab it. Butler inside to Barnes, knocked away by St. Mary's. And so on the turnover, the Seahawks get it back with the Knights leading here by 2. Matheson makes a drive to the basket, passes down low, and the shot is up and good by Roby. Katie Roby scores to make it 12-12 as the Seahawks tie the game again. They go to Ballum on the right side, driving shot, and she is fouled, and Ballum will go to the foul line to shoot 2 shots. Foul is called on Kobe Cheney.
Brittany Ballum being a really well free throw shooter here for the Knights, shooting 70% on the season.
And she hits the first one. There's a couple more substitutions. Into the game is Garish for the Knights. Purcell also checking back in for St. Mary's along with Vagnoni. And Ballum misses the second shot. So the Knights lead by 1, 13-12. Backcourt pressure. St. Mary's breaks the pressure. Nowlin with Stout right on her. Goes to Matheson on the left side. Now they shift it to Nowlin on the right side. Pass inside, blocked by Alexis Barnes. And it's going to be a shot clock violation on St. Mary's. Great defense by Southern Virginia.
Really good job there by Alexis Barnes, getting her hands up, playing some great D on her.
So 2:02 to go first quarter, and the Knights have a 1-point lead here, 13-12 as Jamila Gambi checks back in, replacing Brindy Ballum. So Muse out there right now along with Stout, Barnes, Garish, and Gambi, and this is Garish outside to Muse, open for a 3-pointer, good! Well, now she talked about it. She's really has been the outside threat this season for the Knights when it comes to 3-point shooting. And that was a big 3-pointer by Nicole Muse right there. Gives the Knights a 4-point lead. 90 seconds to go in this first quarter. Purcell with the jumper, no good, too strong. Rebound, Corey Stout again. Muse, baseline drive, ball knocked away, and a foul is called inside of Muse, who I believe has 5 points now in this first quarter. She will go to the foul line to shoot some foul shots after being fouled by Christine Morin.
And we talk about Corey Stout having a lot of rebounds in this first quarter. She does have 6 rebounds. That kind of seems like a lot for a player like Corey Stout. She's one of the smaller girls on the court. You would think that most of those rebounds would be with Shelby Butler, but Corey Stout playing really good on defense.
Yeah, Stout with those rebounds, and if Muse can make this shot, missed the first one. She has 6 points, I believe, now. So 6 points for Muse and 6 rebounds for Stout. You don't usually expect those things in just one quarter.
Yeah, and also Shelby Butler having 10 points early in this first quarter.
Matheson getting the basket there for St. Mary's to make it 17-14. Ballum is back in the game, passes. It's knocked away by St. Mary's, so it'll be Knights ball with just 19 on the shot clock. Nuggets will be forcing to inbound here from the backcourt. So Barnes ready to inbound. 56 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Knights right now have a 3-point lead. They look inside for Garish, and the ball kicked out of bounds. And now there's 10 on the shot clock. And Shelby Butler will check back in, replacing Barnes, as the Knights really want to get Shelby's game going again after she's already had 5 baskets in this first quarter. Pass to Butler, it's thrown away off her hands, and Butler just into the game now will pick up a foul over the back. So it was not the way the Knights were expecting that to go, Nash. They were hoping to free Shelby up for a shot inside, and instead they have the turnover and a foul.
Yeah, really tough right there for Shelby. Is I think she didn't really mean to commit the foul, kind of just was running, couldn't really stop herself. Really tough right there, as there's 3 fouls already committed here in the first quarter.
Roby missing the shot, but the rebound pulled down by Matheson. Her shot blocked by Garish. Great block defensively by the Knights, and now the Knights with 22 seconds to go in the quarter. Plenty of time. They can take a little time here and try to run the clock down a little bit. Trying to build upon a 3-point lead, and a foul is called inside on St. Mary's. Non-shooting foul with just 12 seconds to go. 14 fouls now here on St. Mary's in this quarter. 12 seconds left. See what the Knights can do in just 12 seconds. As Butler's pass is batted away by St. Mary's, and they get the turnover. And now St. Mary's can try it for the last shot of the quarter. They pass it to the left side, now back to Matheson. Outside for a 3 for Klein, and she buries it. And they're going to rule that of 2, but still not the way the Knights were hoping to end that first quarter. They were hoping to have the shot with no time left and maybe take a 5 or 6 point lead at the end of one quarter. Instead, St. Mary's able to get the basket dash, and they go into the second quarter only down by 1 point.
Yeah, that was really tough right there for the Knights. Really kind of a good quarter, but also had its flaws, having 7 turnovers in the first quarter. Really bad for Southern Virginia here in the first quarter. That's one thing they're going to need to fix and have smarter passes and smarter shots, as they've been kind of scrambling all over, as we saw right there. Just trying to pass it in, gets knocked up and stolen away and driven down to cut the lead down to 1.
So on the plus side, you're talking about Corey Stout with the rebounds, Nicole Muse with some nice points, including a 3-pointer, and then a fantastic first quarter shooting the ball for Shelby Butler. On the downside for the Knights, obviously, would be the turnovers.
Yeah. Shelby Butler with already 10 points here in the first quarter. Nicole Muse having 6, Corey Stout having 6 rebounds.
Unfortunately, though, as we talked about, 7 turnovers for the Knights and just 1 turnover for St. Mary's. I know they were hoping to get more turnovers with that defensive pressure the Knights were, but again, just 1 turnover by St. Mary's in that first period.
Yeah, that's one good thing that St. Mary's has done really well right now, is keeping control of the ball and not letting this defensive pressure get to them, as Southern Virginia kind of tends to have their opponents do that. They run this full court pressure a lot against their opponents.
Again, in the first game between these two teams, about a month ago at St. Mary's, the Knights won 66-59. Pass down low to Garish, knocked away. 8th turnover recorded here in the first half by the Knights as they lose the ball in the front court. Here comes Nellen, out of control, shooting off the glass and scoring. She bumped into Garish, Nash, and somehow still got the layup to go. And Gamby right back the other way for a layup to give the Knights the lead back at 19-18.
2 fast layups right there, really quick. Good job by Gamby getting down the court and her teammates seeing her to be able to pass to her.
Allen got it across the timeline, over to Roby, inside to Purcell. And Garish blocks that shot.
What a monster block there by Garish, just shoving that ball back down.
Garish is 6'3", Purcell 6'2", missed there by Stout. And the Knights have a 1-point lead back on defense. And now Allen trying to work up court. Works through a couple of defenders, trying to go all the way for the layup. Blocked again by Garish. Garish really racking up the blocks here in the first half, but another turnover on the part of the Knights. Another bad pass, Nash inside, as Garish now for the game has 3 blocks so far. Another miss though, but Purcell with the rebound. She couldn't hit the follow shot. And the Knights will work up court with a 1-point lead. Gamby right around now all the way for the layup as she is able to pick up her second basket of the second quarter.
What a nifty move right there by Jamila. As you saw her, she went to give the fake pass inside, kind of drew her defender off her, give her a wide. Nice easy layup right there.
21-18 now. The Knights lead by 3 as they try to pull away a little bit. And Roby will try a 3-pointer, but it's short. And the rebound comes out to St. Mary's. Shot clock resetting for the Seahawks. 7:50 to go to halftime. Another 3-pointer attempted by St. Mary's. Another one missed, and the rebound to Katie Garish.
You know, this defense is kind of playing off the perimeter. They're letting St. Mary's really get their 3-point shots off, but I guess they're kind of trusting that they're not going to make them.
Stout trying to make a pass, had it knocked away. It's picked up by Roby. Roby leading the break. Passes over to Cheney. And will drop it off to a teammate. Now back on the left side of Roby. Roby going baseline. Passes the ball over to Cheney and fouled. And Kobe Cheney will go to the foul line. And Shelby Butler, unfortunately, just picked up her second foul. Shelby will stay in the game with now 2 fouls here in the second quarter. Cheney, first foul shot. Too strong, no good. Here comes Suava into the game for Butler. Hughes also checking back in along with Ballum. As Alexis Barnes will stay out there along with Katie Garish. Missed foul shot, but it was missed so badly, Nash, they got the rebound. Lead right now is 3 for the Knights. Nowlan's going to try 3 and hits it to tie the game at 21.
Nice little pick right there set for St. Mary's. Gives them the wide open 3.
All even at 21. Suava gets it down low. They go to Barnes on the left side. Back to Garish. Hook shot good. They worked that well as Garish gave it over to Barnes. Went down to the block, got the pass, and did the hook shot to make it 23-21 Knights. Another 3 taken. This one outside no good by St. Mary's. A miss by Matheson. And the Knights with a 2-point lead now on the ball as Ballum approaches the defense. Passes down low to Suava. They go to Barnes, and she'll try the 3. Up and good!
Great ball movement right there by Southern Virginia, finding Alexis Barnes out on the corner, who's kind of a deadly 3-point shooter. You can't really leave her wide open.
26-21. Nowlan thought about taking that 3 and decided so early in the shot clock to look for a better option. Purcell to Nowlan. Shot clock now at 8. Cheney's going to try an outside jumper. It's no good. And we had a St. Mary's player hit the deck, and I think we're going to have a foul called inside, and it's going to go against Alexis Barnes. Second team foul here on the Knights. No team foul so far in the second quarter for St. Mary's. 5:51 to go to halftime. 5-point lead for the Knights. Roby passes over to Purcell in the corner, and she walked with the basketball. I'm really not sure, Nash, that they want their biggest player at 6'2" to grab the ball and try a three-pointer out of the right corner like that.
Yeah, that was just, I don't really know what was going on there. She kind of just grabbed the ball and took a couple steps thinking that she could get away with it, I think.
And the turnover on St. Mary's part now gives it back to the Knights. Down low, Garish, shot up, no good. And that time, no rebound for the Knights. And St. Mary's will come back the other way, down by 5. Matheson to Morin. And now Cheney will launch another three. It is up and no good, rattles off, and the Knights grab the rebound of a 5-point lead, trying to build upon that lead. Pass to Suava, now Muse. 5 minutes to go to halftime. Looking for Garish down low. Gets it to her, knocked away from by Cheney, and they call the foul on Kobe Cheney over the back.
A lot of ball movement right there by Southern Virginia, getting that ball passed around. St. Mary's just can't figure out what to do and can't figure out where the ball's going.
5-point lead, Knights with the ball as Cheney just picked up her second foul and checks out of the game. Pass down low, and Barnes too strong on the shot. Rebound to the Seahawks. Olivia Nowlin working against pressure. She got through 3 defenders. Off to Morin, blocked by Garish, and they're going to call her for the foul, and I believe that might be her second. Tell you one thing, the Knights were hoping for a lot of turnovers, Nash, with that defensive pressure, but Olivia Nowlin, the 5'5" senior, she really handles the ball pretty slick, and she hasn't had too many turnovers here in this first half.
Yeah, the St. Mary's team doing a really good job with only 2 turnovers here in the first half. Katie Garish really upset with that call by the ref. She thought that was a clean block.
She comes out with her second foul. Butler, who's got 2 fouls, checks back in to replace her. So one thing's for sure, Coach Heather Roberts does not want to see Shelby Butler, Nash, pick up that 3rd foul before halftime. Free throw too strong, and it's 26-22. Knights lead by 4 with the ball. Canby also checking back in. Stout's got it right now. And a foul inside, or 3 seconds. Looks like 3 seconds will be the call on the Knights. Shelby Butler is called for the 3 seconds inside, so the turnover will give it back to St. Mary's. Knights pressure in the backcourt. St. Mary's works it up court against the pressure. Gets it across the timeline. Matheson to Purcell. Driving to the basket, shot off the glass and good by the 6'2" freshman from Pasadena, Maryland. It's 26-24. Knights had a 5-point lead, but now it's down to 2.
This could be a whole different game if Southern Virginia didn't have so many turnovers here. A lot of those turnovers.
There's another one.
Plays just like that, not getting good enough passes.
Barnes trying to get it to Butler. St. Mary's can actually take the lead in this game with a 3-pointer. Here's Purcell with a foul line jumper, and she hits, and St. Mary's has tied it. Knights had a 26-21 lead and had chances to expand that lead to 7 or 8, but now the game is tied at 26. And here's Butler. Turnaround, up and no good. It rattles off, and St. Mary's grabs the rebound. Here comes Roby the other way. Roby trying to go coast to coast. Pass knocked away by the Knights, and there's a St. Mary's turnover. Stout gives it over to Ballum. Ballum driving, and she scores. Brindy Ballum, the junior out of Chantilly, Virginia. Giving the Knights the lead back at 28-26. Purcell will try to go baseline. She passes to Morin, ball knocked away. Almost a steal for the Knights. 3-pointer up and good, and St. Mary's has its first lead of the game on the 3-pointer by Roby.
So far, St. Mary's shooting 2 of 9 from the 3-point line, but that last 3 helps them out a lot, bringing them ahead.
And Morin just picked up a foul over the back. That'll be her second foul. Non-shooting foul, so the Knights will take it out of bounds. 2:40 to go till halftime, and the Knights trail here by 1, 29-28. Gonna be way outside. They're hoping to get it down low to Butler. Pass to Butler, turn around, good. Shelby Butler, when she's able to get that ball down low, Nash, almost unstoppable.
Yeah, she picks up her 12th point here in the game. Doing a really good job down low for the Knights.
30-29 as St. Mary's works it up court. Barry Klein got by Ballum, missed the layup attempt. Knights come back the other way with a 1-point lead. Barnes trying to go coast to coast, gets it over to Ballum. Now Gamby, who's got a couple of baskets, passing down low to Butler. The ball knocked away. It is picked up by St. Mary's. A lot of those turnovers they've had, Nash, really in an effort to get it low to Shelby Butler.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be like, just trying to get a hook pass down low, hitting a hand, hitting a foot. Ball bouncing away as St. Mary's comes away with the ball.
Purcell missing the shot. Good defense there by Butler, who's got 2 fouls on her. Ballum driving all the way. Got it. Now St. Mary's will take a timeout with 1:30 to go until halftime. We'll keep it right here with the Knights now a 3-point leader after St. Mary's took that 29-28 lead. Nash at St. Mary's watching the Knights go on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, really the big thing in this game, as we've said, is turnovers. As St. Mary's has 17 points off turnovers. It could be a totally different game if all the turnovers were cut down. It'd probably be a 10-point game, honestly. As we check in on the Marymount game, Marymount is only up 3 right now against Frostburg with about 6 minutes left in the second period.
And again, to recap the standings, right now Frostburg is a game ahead of the Knights for the 6th spot. Only the top 6 make it. And so Frostburg is at 6-8, and Southern Virginia's at 5-10. The Knights have to win here, hope for Frostburg to lose today, and then they've got to turn around on Wednesday and beat Frostburg. Because at that point, if all that happens today, then really that Frostburg Southern Virginia game next Wednesday will decide things. If the Knights were to lose that game, Frostburg would stand a pretty good chance of getting the 6th spot. If the Knights were able to win that game next Wednesday, then they would stand a pretty good chance to make the tournament.
Yeah, right now the Knights hoping that Frostburg loses today's game, which is more likely to happen with Marymount being #1 in the conference right now. And hopefully Southern Virginia can come away with this win too. And then as they go on to play Frostburg, they come away with that win.
And right now the Knights have a 3-point lead as Nallen drives to the basket, left her layup short, and the rebound comes away to Southern Virginia. 60 seconds left in the quarter until halftime with the Knights leading by 3. And Barnes driving off to Ballum for the jumper. Good! 2-pointer for Brindy Ballum. 5-point lead for the Knights.
Brindy Ballum doing a really good job here in the second quarter. She picked up her 7th point right there with that nice little jumper. She's perfect from the field, going 3 of 3.
And Jamila Gambee just picked up her first foul. Savannah Christensen will check into the game for the Knights. And so, since she made her first appearance about 2-3 weeks ago, she's been getting a lot of playing time and looking very good.
Yeah, she's done really well here for the Knights.
5-point lead for the Knights. 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock as St. Mary's trying to cut into the 5-point lead. Pass down low, almost knocked away. It is knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Knights basketball with 19 seconds to go until halftime. And so the Knights will try to get the last basket of the first half to maybe take a 7 or perhaps even an 8-point lead into halftime.
I think right now you hold out for that last shot, and I think you give it to Alexis Barnes. Alexis Barnes doing it fairly well in this game. She has the only 3-pointer. Her only point is from the 3-point field. She does down low really well too.
And Gambee passing down low to Christensen for the jumper, and she hits it. Savannah Christensen just into the game, posting up and getting the basket. And that will do it here in the first half. What a great way to close here at halftime as the Knights take their biggest lead of the game so far, a 7-point lead into the locker room at halftime. A great way for the Knights to really close things in that first half, Nash.
Yeah, what a really good first half from Shelby Butler, Brindy Ballum, Nicole Muse, really that whole night's offense did really well. The only problem being the turnovers. The turnovers was huge. 13 turnovers. St. Mary's had 17 points off those turnovers. Southern Virginia out-rebounding, though, 23 to 15 total rebounds. That's really well for them right now. Their free throws also being really good, 4 for 6.
Yeah, hard to estimate. I mean, as you mentioned, 7-point lead. With all those turnovers, if you reduce those by half, it could be maybe a 15-point lead.
Yeah, that's what's really tough for Southern Virginia right now, and I think that's what Coach Roberts is going to tell her team in the locker room right now is you guys need to be more careful with the ball and find better passes, take better shots, and hopefully they can come away with an even bigger lead.
And you look at the individual numbers here, Nash, 12 points for Shelby Butler. Obviously, that leads the way for the Knights. Nicole Muse had 6 points. Brandy Ballum had 7 points. We talked about the blocks, 3 blocks in that first half for Katie Garish, and what an amazing stat for Corey Stout. 7 rebounds in that first half.
And another thing you can look at, too, is the points in the paint as SVU. Southern Virginia has 20 points down low as we find Shelby Butler down there a lot and Katie Garish down there a lot, which is awesome for Southern Virginia.
So, again, the Knights lead here at halftime. Your halftime score, it is Southern Virginia 36 and St. Mary's 29. We will now take a little break here from the Knights Sports Arena.
is a Subway gift card. All right, come on out to the court. All right, stay behind the white line. All right, here we go. On the count of three, you'll say your airplane. Closest one to the gift card is the winner. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's where we have a winner right here. There it is. All right, there it is. All right, save those paper airplanes for the second game of today's double hitter. Make your modifications aerodynamic. Shooter for the, all right, here we go. All right, halftime shooter, what's your name? Will. All right, Will, you know how this works. You make a layup, that's a gift card. You make a free throw, gift card. You make a three-point shot, gift card. Then we're going half court. You make it, it's free pizza for the rest of the semester. All right, here we go, Will. Layup. All right, there's one gift card. That's a free throw. Hold up, watch the line. Oh, real strong, real strong. All right, three-point shot. Oh, too strong when you hit throw, line it up on the three. All right, half court. Half court, here we go. Free pizza from Papa John's for the rest of the semester. That's good. Oh. Give it up to Will. Good job, Will. Hey, we're going to be set for the second half. Let's go, Knights. Hey, we also have this Nothing But Nets 3-on-3 basketball tournament presented by Dish One. It is a 3-on-3 basketball tournament that will be held right here at Knights Arena February 19th at 9 a.m. It is a double elimination and it's competitive in red divisions. Prizes include a weekend trip to Virginia Beach and Nike gift cards. This is to help support children in Africa. Every 60 seconds, a child in Africa dies from malaria. Each team will have to have one girl on the court at all times. Registration available on SAAC board in the gym. Accepting registrations now. Registration must be due February 15th with payment. Once again, Nothing But Nets 3-on-3 basketball tournament right here, February 19th.
Welcome back to the Night Sports Arena here at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by Nash Jones. And Nash, we're getting ready for second half action as the Southern Virginia University Knights were able to close that first half on an 8-0 run. It was 29-28. St. Mary's had taken the lead, their only lead, I believe, of the first half. And then the Knights went on that 8-0 run to take a 7-point lead into the locker room at halftime. And right now, this is Southern Virginia's game to lose.
Yeah, Southern Virginia really kind of been struggling a little bit with the turnovers, as we've talked about, having 13 turnovers, as St. Mary's having 17 points off of turnovers, which could really change this game completely. If you take away, as you said, half those turnovers, you have probably a 15-point game,
right,
which is huge and kind of a comfortable lead to go into half.
And it just seemed like a lot of those turnovers, as we've talked about, is the Knights trying to get the ball down low to Shelby Butler, who had a fantastic shooting first half, and obviously the Knights were trying to take advantage of that, trying to get the ball down low to Butler, and a lot of the times that's where the turnover occurred.
Yeah, it's just trying to get down low to either Katie or Shelby, trying to get like a hook pass down, catching a hand, catching a foot, bouncing off. St. Mary's ends up grabbing it, or we'll maybe get a couple of those big passes, trying to get the ball down faster, just going for just launch passes, as it seems like.
And right now, the Knights have got to feel pretty confident. They seem to really get their game going the last 2 to 3 minutes of that second quarter. St. Mary's has kind of struggled on offense, really trying to figure out whether they want to go down low to maybe Purcell or maybe shoot a three-pointer. And right now, St. Mary's just really doesn't have any reliable options on offense. And so the Knights, if they can control the turnovers here in the third and fourth quarter, they got a great chance here to pick up a sixth victory in the conference.
Yeah, the Knights kind of they play that full court pressure, but when they get down, they kind of relax that on the three-point line. Not really putting a whole lot of pressure. As we've seen, St. Mary's shooting from the three-point is 2 of 9 right now. So they're pretty comfortable, maybe letting them get their shots off as they kind of trust that they're not going to make it and they can jump up and get those rebounds. Really, Corey Stout is the one who's been leading those rebounds. 7
rebounds in the first half she had.
Doing amazing down there. Also, Shelby Butler coming away with 12 points in the first half. Knights having 20 points down low, which is really good for them.
And so second half play underway with the Seahawks starting off the third quarter with the ball. Knights will try to get a turnover right away, but a backdoor pass, and it comes over to Roby. She's been perhaps the most solid player for St. Mary's today, and Roby able to get the basket to make it 36-31. And Garish couldn't control that pass. It was off her hands out of bounds, and so right off the bat, a turnover for the Knights, and the Seahawks have the basketball. Roby's got 9 points now for St. Mary's. They go to work, down by 5. Allen working on Stout. And Roby passes the ball off for a three-pointer. Up and no good. It rimmed out. A tough miss there for Kerry Klein. And a big rebound for the Knights, who've got a 5-point lead. Barnes will go all the way. Tries to pass it inside. It's knocked away. And another turnover, Nash.
Really tough start here for Southern Virginia, starting off with 2 turnovers early.
And there's a turnover on the part of St. Mary's. 36-31. So the Knights yet to score here in the first minute and a half of the third quarter. Down low to Garish, and she turns around with the hook shot and scores. If they can get it into the big people like Garish and Butler, they stand a pretty good chance of making a basket.
Yeah, it's been nice finding those 2 down low. Hopefully they can keep this up. The game is only a 7-point lead right now.
38-31, pass down low, off the glass, up and good by Olivia Nowlin. 38-33, St. Mary's trying to hang in there. There's a pass down low to Butler, blocked by Purcell, and they're going to call her for the foul. Wasn't sure if she got all ball, Nash, or if maybe they're going to call her a foul with the body. Either way, Butler's got a chance to convert a couple of points here from the foul line.
Butler also being a very good free throw shooter here for the Knights, shooting 72% on the season. Really being one of the main leaders on this team, doing a really good job.
Knights have a 6-point lead. As Brittany Ballum will check in, replacing Barnes. Butler misses the second shot. Got 1 out of 2. The Knights have a 6-point lead. 39-33 as Nowlin tries to work it up court against a double team. And now Roby reaves through 3 defenders, drops it off to Morin, and now St. Mary's will reset the offense. Roby with a long jumper, too strong on that shot, rattles off. Gamby grabbed the rebound, then got hit in the face. There was no foul called. Couldn't tell Nash if she got hit in the eye or just the forehead.
Looks to be she's holding her eyes. She's able to walk off right now.
Must have gotten poked in the eye somehow, and referees must have considered to be, I guess, inadvertent. So 7:41 to go in this third quarter. The Knights holding on to a 6-point lead at 39-33. Coach Roberts might be asking why there wasn't a foul called, as Barnes will check in to replace Gamby. Knights are going to have the basketball. Takes a lot to knock off and knock out of the game Jamila Gamby. She's really tough, and that might be the first time in 4 years I've seen her get hit and have to come off the floor due to an injury.
Yeah, Jamila Gamby being a really good team player on this team. Katie Garish getting fouled right there, but again, Jamila Gamby being a really tough girl on this team, as we've seen her for 4 years. Do a really good job for the Knights. Unfortunate for, little things like that to happen. Just getting hit in the eye can take you out of the game.
Garish, after getting sandwiched, she'll get 2 foul shots, and she makes the first one to give the Knights a 7-point lead, matching their biggest lead so far today.
Garish a 60%er from the free throw line this year.
And she got them both, and so the Knights have their biggest lead so far at 8 points now, as Nicole Muse will check in to replace Brindy Ballum. It'll be senior night for the Knights when they take on Frostburg in women's action next Wednesday, the final home game of the season. The men are going to do senior day today, Nash, in their next to last home game against St. Mary's, in the second game today, and we'll have the senior bios, the 3 seniors being honored before the game in our second game today. So make sure you tune in for that right before the men's contest, when Kashawn Cottle, Cale Thornton, Aaron Robaugh will all be honored.
Yeah, those 3 players being really good for the Knights. Really good seniors.
Another basket inside by Katie Garish. It was the first half, and with Shelby Butler making a lot of shots. And now Garish is kind of taking over the offense here in the second half as the Knights extend that lead back to 7. Cheney gets it over to Roby. Roby attacking, shooting and missing. Good defense there by Katie Garish to hold her ground without committing a foul.
Yeah, Garish really having a good second half right here.
And a steal by St. Mary's. And so the Seahawks will get it back, down by 7 though. And Allen got free and misses the layup shot inside. Barnes inside to Butler, off the glass and good. Shelby Butler scores. The Knights have a 9-point lead, their biggest lead so far.
Butler picking up her 15th point right there, doing a good job down low again for the Knights.
Seahawks working across the timeline, but right now, Nash, the Seahawks, and maybe all day long you could say this, they just don't have an answer for the inside players of Butler and Katie Garish.
Yeah, it looks to be their tallest player on their team is Hallie Purcell, 6'2", but she doesn't look to be playing tonight, so.
And Barnes goes coast to coast with the layup, and the Knights suddenly have exploded to an 11-point lead. They led by 7 at halftime. And this is their biggest lead of the game, and St. Mary's will go ahead and take a timeout. What a great run by the Knights after St. Mary's had gotten to within 36-31. And the Knights have been able to boost that lead now to 11 points.
Yeah, the Knights doing a really good job here at the latter half of the third quarter, as we saw the start kind of slow as St. Mary's came away with 4 points early. Doing a lot better with the turnovers. As we saw in the first half, it was 5 turnovers off the first 3 minutes of the game, it seemed like. Doing a lot better right now. Still having 16 turnovers, whereas St. Mary's only having 5. Shelby Butler and Katie Garish doing a really good job down low again. Shelby Butler has 15 points. Katie Garish having 8 points so far, doing a really good job.
And even when the 6'2" freshman Purcell's been into the game for St. Mary's, they just really have not been able to stop either Shelby Butler or Katie Garish down low.
Yeah, and one big thing is you see Corey Stout and Katie Garish, their size difference, but they have the same amount of rebounds right now with 7 rebounds.
Right now an 11-point lead, and an outside jumper by Morin makes it 47-39 as St. Mary's is trying desperately to hang in this basketball game, but the Knights right now have an 8-point lead, and here goes Ballum. Off-balance shot, no good, no foul call. I think she was really trying to shoot that ball, Nash, with the express purpose of maybe picking up a foul call, and Roby misses a jumper back the other way. Back come the Knights with the 8-point lead. They work it over to Muse, now to Garish, back to Nicole. Pass inside to Garish, and she couldn't get the shot to go. Had a great look at it. Just missed the shot from about 2 feet away, and so now it'll be a St. Mary's basketball down by 8.
Yeah, just didn't put enough on that shot right there, unable to come away with it.
Allen missing from outside. St. Mary's missing too many shots, down by 8 points. Pass inside, knocked away, another turnover. They were trying to get it down low to Alexis Barnes. That's a tough pass to make, Nash, trying to thread the needle between 2 or 3 defenders. Allen, baseline move, and I think they're going to call Corey Stout for a foul. It'll be called on Corey. And so Olivia Nallen, the 5'5" senior, will go to the foul line to shoot 2. And Olivia Nolan makes the first foul shot. As Tui Severa and Butler will check back in, replacing Stout and Garish. One more shot coming up here for the 5'5" senior out of Glenegg, Maryland, Olivia Nolan. She missed the second one. Knights grab the rebound, have a 7-point lead. Knights unable to do it on offense. Back comes St. Mary's, only trailing by 7. Offensive rebound for Morin inside. Nallen's going to try a 3. Olivia Nallen missing that shot. And the ball is knocked out of bounds off of a Southern Virginia player. And so St. Mary's somehow gets the basketball.
Yeah, kind of a good play right there by St. Mary's. She jumped out and threw the ball back in as Barnes kind of thought that the ball was already out of bounds, not thinking that it was going to matter that much if it hit off of her, but refs thought that the ball was still in bounds is when she threw it out.
And so Christensen replaces Alexis Barnes. St. Mary's trailing by 7. That's the deficit at halftime, 36-29. It's now 47-40 here in the third quarter. Shot clock at 4. Morin, three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Tui Severa. And a foul will be called on Matheson for St. Mary's. 2:54 to go third quarter. Knights 47, St. Mary's 40. Knights trying to pick up a very big conference win. As a three-pointer by Ballum, outside no good. Knights, if they could win today and Frostburg were to lose today, the Knights would be tied for the 6th spot. And again, only the top 6 will make it into the Capital Conference postseason tournament. So the Knights really need this home victory today against St. Mary's.
Yeah, and as we talk about those spots, Marymount only up 2 right now against Frostburg.
Cheney missed a shot. Rebound to Roby. Fouled. I think Christensen might pick this one up. They're trying to determine maybe, Nash, whether it's going to be before the shot. Before the rebound shot by St. Mary's. So Christensen. Nope, Ballum's going to pick it up instead. And it will be a non-shooting foul. Nope, looks like it's going to be a shooting foul. It'll be Roby going to the foul line. Ballum picks up her first, and Roby will shoot a couple of foul shots. So the lead is 6. And it looks like Nash and St. Mary's has made just enough plays to kind of stay within striking distance.
Yeah, only being down 6 right now. Now, only being down 5, really tough right there. Turnovers, really, I think that's just a big thing still. 17 turnovers for Southern Virginia here.
That and the fact that Jamila Gamby, after being poked in the eye, hasn't been back in the game since. But she may not play again here in the second half. We'll see. Stout, long jumper, missed it. And Muse trying to save it, saves it to a teammate of St. Mary's. Over the pass comes to Matheson. A great play by Tui Sever to come from behind to swat away a potential layup for Matheson as Garish will check back in, replacing Christensen.
Really good hustle right there by Tua Severa, getting down as she went up to shoot that layup, kind of picked that ball out and hit it out. Good play by her.
Timeout taken by Southern Virginia with 1:57 to go in the third quarter. Knights have a 5-point lead here at 47-42, and you get the feeling that Heather Roberts, the head coach for the Knights, wants to give her team a bit of a breather here, but also wants to make sure that they are successful on this offensive possession because they're trying to build upon right now a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and this 5-point lead hopefully can stay there and continue to grow as we saw them go on a big 11-0 run. Hopefully they come out with that here pretty soon as we still see Jamila Gamby out. Now having Butler and Garish down low. Hopefully they can find those two down low and get some more points off the board.
St. Mary's, though, with the basketball. Seahawks inbounding. Great play by Tui Severa. Almost got the steal, knocking that pass out of bounds. 25 on the shot clock for the Seahawks. Bagnoni inbounding for the Seahawks. And she passes it way out front. Knights led by 7 at halftime. And right now have a 5-point lead. Pass down low. Purcell got free and scores. Garish tried to challenge that pass, Nash, and ran herself right out of the play. Pass inside Butler, and it's knocked away. Another turnover for the Knights, who tried to go down low.
You know, and St. Mary's is starting to figure that out. Southern Virginia really might have to change that up. Tui Severa again with that little poke from behind, getting that ball out.
47-44. Knights again led by 7 at halftime. They got the lead close to 10 points, their biggest lead of the game. And now St. Mary's has made a run to get within 3. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Roby. And so it is going to be Knights basketball. As it's good to see Gamby checking back into the game along with Barnes. So you got Butler out there along with Corey Stout, Gamby, Garish, and Barnes, the original starting 5 of this basketball game.
Really good to see Gamby and back in there. See, Garish just kind of got 3 girls just swatting away at her arms.
And That foul will be called on Matheson for St. Mary's, non-shooting foul. Inbounds pass, and it's a tie-up as Roby got around behind Garish and tied her up. The possession, though, fortunately for the Knights, favors them, so they still have the basketball. Pass to Garish, it comes free. It's picked up by Roby, and she doesn't have the numbers, so she'll slow it up. Matheson, she was baseline, got free, and scores. They didn't expect Matheson to turn to the basket, and she fooled all the defenders, and now it's 47-46.
Yeah, really tough.
And another steal. Roby steals that pass. Roby trying to go all the way, turns, shoots, and scores, and St. Mary's has taken the lead.
This is just really bad right here for Southern Virginia's offenses. It's back-to-back turnovers with back-to-back points.
Barnes missed a shot inside. The jump ball possession arrow this time will favor St. Mary's, and the Seahawks on a great run to take a 1-point lead after they were down by nearly double digits.
Yeah, 20 turnovers for Southern Virginia and having 22 points off the turnovers for St. Mary's. 22 points is a lot of points here for St. Mary's. Really, that could have changed the game for Southern Virginia. It could be a lot bigger lead, but right now they're down one.
And a turnover for St. Mary's. Matheson trying to get it up court to Nellen, just threw it way over her head out of bounds. And so we'll see if the Knights could take advantage of that turnover by St. Mary's with 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This is Garish near the foul line. Now Ganby's got it. They go to Ballum. 13 to go in the third quarter. And a drive and a foul is going to be called on St. Mary's. Christensen moving along the baseline was bumped, and she should go to the foul line for foul shots as Purcell picks up that foul call. So Christensen will shoot two. And she ties the game at 48.
You know, so during this next quarter, after this 10 seconds, Coach Roberts is really going to have to help her team figure out what to fix. And honestly, it's just those passes, those turnovers, bad passes. Hopefully they can figure that out to go into the fourth and come away with the win.
And right now the Knights are trying to get a turnover. Roby fouled by Ballum. It'll be a non-shooting foul. It's just the third team foul on the Knights. So 8 seconds to go. The Knights still have another foul they can give up without allowing in foul shots. St. Mary's trying to get it in to get it up court. Now on to Roby. Roby trying to go all the way. Gets it over to the teammate, and the shot by Matheson is no good, and the Knights will go to the fourth quarter, Nash clinging to a 1-point lead. So the Knights will enter the fourth quarter leading here 49-48, but St. Mary is able to make a charge in that third quarter. They trailed by 7 at halftime. The Knights were able to extend that lead close to double digits, but St. Mary's actually took a 48-47 lead before Savannah Christensen got a couple of foul shots to give the Knights a 1-point lead heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it really got kind of slow there the last 5 minutes of the quarter. Southern Virginia having 20 turnovers, 22 points off turnovers for St. Mary's.
Yeah, they were outscored in that third quarter, I believe 19-13.
Yeah, really tough right there. They're going to need to figure it out here coming into this fourth quarter. It's crunch time now for Southern Virginia. It's pretty much do or die right now. You got to win this game. You got to hope that Frostburg keeps their record low as they're down 4 right now against Marymount.
Yeah, they're playing Marymount pretty tough. Marymount came into the game today with a record of 14-1, tied with Christopher Newport for the conference lead, and Frostburg's only down by 4 on the road.
Yeah, so this game is really, really crucial for Southern Virginia. They need to come away with this win if they're looking to get back into the Capital Athletic Conference playoff run with a Frostburg loss.
And they'll be hosting Frostburg, the Knights will, on Wednesday. So here we go, fourth quarter action with the Knights leading by 1. Going with their original starting 5. Stout Gamby, Barnes, Garish, and Butler. Gamby off to Garish, and she got it. Knights by 3.
Good little ball movement right there, finding Katie Garish just right from the corner of the free throw line.
And Roby threw it away. St. Mary's turnovers, when they've occurred, quite often have been on passes where they just really haven't had much pressure, Nash, and they're just misconnecting on some of these passes.
You know, and hopefully this will be the spark for Southern Virginia right here as they start off good here. They get a turnover. Hopefully they can feed off that and they can keep scoring, keep having good passes. They're going to look for Katie Garish right there.
Yeah, and Garish scores again to make it a 5-point lead. A 4-0 run by the Knights to start this fourth quarter. Katie Garish having a great game, nearing a double-double. Three-pointer outside by St. Mary's, no good, and Butler able to grab the rebound. It's tied up, though, and the possession arrow will favor St. Mary's with 8:55 to go. Mentioned Katie Garish, what a game she's been having. She has 10 points now, 9 rebounds, also 3 blocks. Shelby Butler leads the Knights in scoring with 15 points overall. And the shot is no good by Klein. Got her own rebound, and Garish is going to be called for the foul, it looks like. Nope, they're going to call him the foul. They're going to say Garish got the ball, but Alexis Barnes got the body, apparently, and so the foul is called on Barnes, and 2 foul shots coming up here for Carrie Klein, a 5'8" senior. And that pulls St. Mary's to within 4 now at 53-49. Now it's 53-50. Stout open for a 3, does not take the shot. Now they go to the left side to Gamby. Jumper, rims out, tough miss there for the Knights. And now Nolan will bring it up court. Nolan going all the way, too strong on the layup. He was a bit out of control, Nash, and decided to go for that layup. And a travel on Alexis Barnes as she stopped her dribble and didn't find anybody to pass to, and as a result, dragged her foot.
Yeah, really fast pace right there. The last 2 kind of drives. As we saw St. Mary's come down, miss a shot, and then Alexis Barnes kind of taking the ball down fast. She kind of lost her footing and got called for the travel.
And right now it's a 53-50 lead for the Knights by 3. Roby, baseline, fouled by Gamby. That'll be her second foul. Two team fouls on the Knights. No team fouls so far on St. Mary's here in the fourth quarter. Nolan with it. She goes baseline, and she got the shot to go. It's 53-52. Every time, Nash, you think the Knights are going to pull away, St. Mary's seemingly makes a charge. And there's a turnover.
Really, really tough pass right there, trying to find Shelby really fast, but
Nolan, and they call a timeout just before Nolan threw the ball away. One referee called a timeout just as the pass was being made that was going to result in a turnover. And so they're going to give St. Mary's the timeout, apparently. That timeout, Nash, came literally within a second before a turnover.
yeah, really, really close right there. Southern Virginia would have really liked to have that turnover. Refs decided that the timeout was called before the pass was made.
Literally probably a half second to no more than a second.
Yeah, that was really quick right there. As Heather Roberts didn't feel like that timeout was called, that it should be Southern Virginia's ball, but it's going to be really tough right now as they're only up 1. Still, though, 7 minutes and 35 seconds left. It's right now it's anybody's game. Really, really close right now.
You got to credit St. Mary's. They've been able to make some big plays, but again, it's been the turnovers for the Knights. Otherwise, they could easily have maybe a 10-point lead. And right now, Marymount still leads Frostburg 48-44. And Corey Stout is going to be called for that foul. And suddenly, Nash, that's the third team foul here on the Knights. And with 7:35 to go, the last thing you want to do is quickly pick up 5 team fouls, and then St. Mary's will be shooting foul shots the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, and that's one thing right now you do not want to give up as fouls here in the fourth quarter.
Not in a close game like this, as Roby almost got free. Back to Matheson, and she misses the three-pointer. Big rebound for Katie Garish.
With that rebound, Katie Garish picks up a double-double here in the game with 12 points, 10 rebounds.
And a big miss on the three-pointer. Otherwise, if they hit that, St. Mary's would have the lead. And it's Alexis Barnes right back the other way with a three-pointer. So instead of St. Mary's getting a three-pointer to take the lead, Barnes hits a three to give the Knights a 4-point lead. And now here's a three-point try by Klein. It's up and no good. Another rebound to Garish.
Really clutch shot by Alexis Barnes back there.
Canby will drive to the basket, shoot, and the ball is blocked from behind. No foul called. Back comes St. Mary's. Roby down low. Matheson's got it.
You know, you wonder with those kind of plays like that. We saw earlier Katie Garish got called for a foul, kind of just like that.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a turnover on the part of St. Mary's, and it'll give it back to Southern Virginia with 6:27 to go as Nicole Muse will replace Gamby, and now Christensen is in to replace Shelby Butler. Coach Heather Roberts, I would imagine, Nash is trying to give each player a little bit of a breather, knowing this game could well be decided in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. And there's a turnover, knocked away, out of bounds. And they're going to call a foul instead on, looks like it's going to be called on St. Mary's. Roby's going to pick it up. That'll be her first foul of the game. Ragnoni checking back in for St. Mary's for Nolan. That's 6 minutes and 20 seconds away from a victory. Knights trying to build upon a 4-point lead. Christensen out the step for the jumper. It's up and no good. And the rebound is chipped away by Garish. But her pass is stolen away by Roby.
Really, really tough play right there. Katie Garish looking to find Stout again out on the perimeter, but Roby just right there to find the ball.
Now a motion offense here for St. Mary's. Roby's going to try a three. It's up and no good short. The rebound pulled down by Garish as St. Mary's can't buy a basket right now. The Knights will try once again to build upon this 4-point lead. And Barnes will try a three. Up and no good. And Nicole Muse with a rebound. Fouled by Roby, and she just picked up her second.
Good play right there by Nicole. Doing a really good job of going up for that ball. Drawing the foul, too.
Butler will check in for Garish. Christensen's got it right now. She drives to the basket and is fouled, and she'll go to the foul line to shoot two.
And these two foul shots right here could really pull Southern Virginia away, as St. Mary's is kind of starting to scramble right now to get good shots and get buckets.
Christensen hits another foul shot. She really has been a valuable addition to this team since she came on board here in 2018. And she converts another foul shot. She's really a good foul shooter, and she's given her team a 6-point lead. St. Mary's trying to work it across the timeline. They do. Roby double teamed, lost the ball momentarily. It's picked up by St. Mary's, and then Gamby diving for the ball picks up her 3rd foul. So that is going to be the 4th team foul on the Knights.
Really big scramble right there. People diving for the ball on the floor. Unfortunately, Gamby comes away with the foul.
And so the inbounds pass comes to Purcell. Matheson, baseline, nothing there. St. Mary's looking for a basket, down by 6. Knights looking for a big defensive stop, and Matheson couldn't get the layup to go. And the Knights have a 6-point lead and the ball. Knights looking for a good shot. Muse open, wide open, and she cannot hit the 3. And Butler, they're going to be called, Shelly Butler's going to be called for a foul over the back, I think. Trying to tap that rebound, and she got it for the call over the back.
She's really unhappy with that call right there. She didn't feel like she went up and over. She felt like that, she probably just tipped the ball.
And that was her 3rd foul. It's also the 15th foul, so St. Mary's will be shooting foul shots the rest of this second half in the 4th quarter, and Roby missed that shot, left it short. You got to figure St. Mary's is getting tired.
Yeah, not a whole lot of girls here on their team. Really just been running them a lot up and down the court. 2 missed foul shots. Big misses when you're down by 6 points. And so the Seahawks go back on defense, still trailing by 6. Trying to get a turnover, and instead they'll pick up a foul. That'll be the 14th foul. And Roby quickly picks up her 3rd. She's picked up 3 fouls in like 2 minutes. And Nolan will have to come into the game along with Cheney. Garish will check in for Christensen. Six-point lead for the Knights. Butler to Barnes. Now they go to Stout, over to Gamby on the left side. Baseline drive, nothing there. Shot clock at 15, plenty of time. Butler, foul line jumper, up, no good. And the rebound to St. Mary's. This shot inside for St. Mary's, but they got their own rebound after the miss by Klein. Stout is going to pick up the foul call. She was trying to look like she was trying to battle through a pick, and instead picked up the foul. Yeah, it really looked like Corey was just kind of trying to not really touch her at all, trying to get away. She was just drawn in right there.
Nolan shooting the foul shots, and another miss for St. Mary's at the foul line. 58-52, Knights by 6. They led by 7 at halftime. They beat St. Mary's by 7 in the first game between these two teams, and St. Mary's finally able to get a foul shot to go down, 58-53. And now the Seahawks are trying to go with some backcourt pressure to force a turnover.
One thing that's really helped Southern Virginia here is they're out shooting St. Mary's right now. St. Mary's shooting 30% right now from the free throw or from the field. Southern Virginia shooting 50%, so that's really good for them.
They've also missed 7 foul shots, 7 of 14 from the foul line. So really, the three-point shooting, especially in the foul shooting, has been tough for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Garish hits a big foul shot there.
St. Mary's shooting 4 of 20. They've shot 20 three-point shots, only making 4 of them.
Garish missing the second one. It's tipped out, and a battle for the ball. Nolan and Gamby going for it, and it's going to be Knights basketball. So the Knights have a 6-point lead in the ball with 3:26 to go in the game. Foul on Garish. Moving pick on the inbounds pass. That's her third foul. That's essentially a turnover because now the ball goes over to St. Mary's.
Really, really tough right there. Only having a 6-point lead.
Seahawks down by 6. So who will shoot the ball for St. Mary's? Matheson on a drive scores. Cuts that lead down to 4. A quick timeout taken here by St. Mary's. And so with 3:12 to go, it's 59-55. And we've said this all game long, Nash. The Knights just can't seem to pull away right now from the Seahawks.
Yeah, it seems like they'll go. It'll seem like their run will start to maybe come up, and then, you know, a turnover will come and it'll stop. Really tough right here with only 3 minutes and 12 seconds left, only having a 4-point lead. It's still a game for Southern Virginia to lose right now.
Now, the game may well come down to foul shooting. As we mentioned just a few seconds ago, St. Mary's has struggled at the foul line. They're just 50%, 7 of 14 from the charity stripe here for the game. And who knows, in a game like this, it may well come down to a few free throws.
And it really could be, and if it does, hopefully it's on Southern Virginia. Hopefully they can go to the foul line. They shoot pretty well right now tonight. They're shooting 75% from the free throw line, doing really well there. Hopefully no more fouls can be drawn from Garish or Butler, as they're kind of starting to get into foul trouble. They both have 3 fouls, 2 more and they're out, which could be really tough right now as they are trying to find them down low.
And the Knights have their original starting 5 back out there on the floor right now, and Butler, Garish, Gamby, Barnes, and Stout. Backcourt pressure by St. Mary's. Knights trying to avoid turnovers down the stretch and trying to convert on offense. Barnes, baseline, drive, jump shot up, no good, too strong. Seahawks grabbing the rebound. See if St. Mary's goes inside or outside on this offensive possession. Nolan deep in the corner, dribble the ball off her leg out of bounds, and it's a turnover for St. Mary's.
You know, this could be that big break right now as they start to maybe pull away, hopefully right here.
All right, so try to work it up court. Corey Stout gets it across the timeline, spins, dribbles through a couple of defenders, drops it off to Gamby. Barnes looking, trying to get it down low, and they do to Butler. Missed the shot, missed the follow shot, and the rebound to St. Mary's.
You know, it looks like the Knights, when they do get the ball, they're trying to just kind of waste that shot clock away.
Roby with the jumper. She can't hit. Rebound. Stout had it and gives it over to Butler. Back to Stout. Lost the ball momentarily. Jump ball. Possession arrow going to, let's see who it's going to favor. Looks like it's going to favor the Knights. So they've got the ball here with 2 minutes to go. Backcourt pressure. Knights work it across the timeline. Gamby all the way, the layup, and it's good. Gamby with a basket to make it 61-55.
What a good play by Gamby right there, driving down. She has such good handles, able to hold that ball down low with a lot of people.
Nolan dribbling inside and missing the shot. No foul call, ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Knights, so it's still St. Mary's basketball with 1:34 to go. As Muse will check in for Gamby.
To give you an update from the Frostburg game, Marymount up 11 right now, 61-50, with under 3 minutes left in the fourth.
Nicole Muse called for that foul on Nolan. So Nolan will go to the foul line to shoot 2. Now the lead is at 5. Can be right back in for Muse. Now the lead is 4 for the Knights. And a foul on the backcourt called on St. Mary's. Well, you hope this is where the Knights really maybe make a difference in the final minute 27 at the foul line, where they have really shot a much better percentage today, Nash, than St. Mary's.
Yeah, and Stout being one of the top free throw shooters on the team, she's shooting close to 80% right now from the free throw line.
Missed that one, though. Too strong and off to the left. One more shot coming. And that one's too strong, and the rebound comes out to Roby. So Stout missing 2 foul shots, and St. Mary's down by 4 with the ball.
Really surprising that Stout didn't come away with one of those.
Matheson knocked down, no call. Ball comes over to Gamby. Gamby to Stout. Backcourt pressure. And they're going to call foul on Nolan. And Corey Stout back to the foul line.
Hopefully Stout can redeem herself right here with these 2 free throws.
Corey got that one to go. So after missing 2 foul shots, she hits one there to give the Knights a 5-point lead.
As you can see, Stout kind of has a very unique free throw shot. She bounces that ball up into her hand and lets it go quick, and it pays off for her.
Kind of a rainbow shot. She got them both to go at 63-57. 6-point lead. Clock becoming a factor. 60 seconds to go in the game. Jump shot by Nolan. Off the glass. Good. 63-59. Down to 59 seconds to go. Barnes trying to go all the way. And a foul is going to be called. It's going to go against Matheson.
Nolan being the top scorer for St. Mary's right now, being the top scorer in the game with 17 points. The next would be Shelby Butler, who has 15.
Barnes rimmed out on the first foul shot attempt. Barnes missed them both, and the rebound to St. Mary's.
Really tough right there. Those are 2 shots that you kind of thought were going to go in, but just somehow.
Matheson all the way for the reverse layup at 63-61. And a foul on Matheson over the back of Stout. So apparently St. Mary's is going to try to force the Knights to shoot as many foul shots as possible in these final 45 seconds.
You know, and right now it's paying off for us. We've seen back-to-back, free throw misses. Corey missed her first 2, came back, made her second 2. Hopefully she can come right here and make these next 2.
And another big miss on a foul shot there by Stout as Muse will check in for Butler.
Now it's going to be a 1-possession game for St. Mary's. Hopefully Central Virginia can lock them down as they come back down the court after this free throw shot.
Stout, another foul shot, another miss. And a timeout by St. Mary's with 43.8 seconds to go. Knights have missed a few foul shots down the stretch here, Nash, and as a result, it's given St. Mary's the opportunity here. Suddenly, with 43.8 seconds to go, they've got a chance either to come down and tie this game with a basket or take the lead with a three-pointer.
Yeah, I think right now Heather Roberts is just telling her team, be careful with the ball. If you get the ball, no bad passes. But I honestly don't think there's going to be a whole lot of passes. Probably is St. Mary's is just going to keep fouling until they make those free throw shots.
Right. If they don't get the steal right away, it looks like they're going to foul as quickly as they can.
Yeah, with 43 seconds left, that's really what all St. Mary's can do right now. Hopefully Southern Virginia can come away with those free throw shots when they have the ball. And hopefully they can play some lockdown D. Be careful, though. That's one thing I think that they're going to have to do is, can't play too aggressive, can't be drawing those fouls as they are in the bonus right now, which will send them to the free throw line.
We'll try to get you that Frostburg-Marymount final before we end things here in game number 1. Don't forget game number 2, the men's contest between Southern Virginia and St. Mary's. It'll be senior day for the men. We'll have, for that men's contest, the recognition of the 3 seniors on the Knights basketball roster in Cale Thornton, Aaron Rumbaugh, and Kashawn Cottle. 2-point lead for the Knights. And Roby with the jump shot, hits it to tie the game. 63-63. And they're going to call jump ball possession arrow, and it's going to favor St. Mary's.
That's a really surprising call right there. You would think that it would be a reach-in foul or something. They were all over Stout.
Corey Stout thought maybe the same way. And so suddenly St. Mary's has a chance to take the lead with a basket. Knights trying to play some good defense. And a layup is good by Klein to make it 65-63. Knights will come back in a hurry here, trying to tie the game. Barnes shot, no good. No foul call. Cheney grabs the rebound. Boy, has this game turned around in a hurry, Nash. Knights had a really chance to maybe to put this game away from the foul line, and it's still a lot of time to go, 22 seconds, but suddenly St. Mary's has got a 2-point lead, and they go the other way for some foul shots. Now, the good news is that Cheney is going to be the foul shooter, and she has really kind of struggled shooting foul shots this season. She is just has missed a number of foul shots here in this game today, and she missed that one.
So that's going to keep this a one-possession game right here. If she makes this one, they're really going to have to find that three-point shot, or they're going to have to go down. Hopefully Butler or Garish, as Butler's going to check into the game here pretty soon.
Second one's going to be short, and the rebound to the Knights. 19 seconds to go, down by 2. Stout over to Barnes. Barnes driving, shooting, and scoring. St. Mary's with 8 seconds to go, trying to score at the buzzer. Matheson got free for a layup, and she scores. And St. Mary's has won the game. 67-65. What a tough loss for the Knights, as they drop to 5-11 of the conference and 12-11 overall. St. Mary's just their 4th win of the conference and 8th win overall. And Nash, it just seemed to get away from the Knights in the final few minutes with foul shooting, and also Matheson, number 5. Janie Matheson, the 5'6" sophomore, getting away for that game-winning layup, and she got away down the stretch in the 4th quarter for 2 or 3 layups where she would do a little spin move, get away from her defender, and score a basket, and she was able to get the game winner with less than 2 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's really tough right there for the Knights. They played a really good game. It went back and forth a lot the whole game. As you saw them kind of go on a run, St. Mary's tends to come back. Really tough there at the end with Corey Stout getting the ball, and they called a jump ball, which was in the favor of St. Mary's.
That was a huge call.
And that's going to be one thing that you're going to have to think about was that a jump ball? Was it a foul? Like, what can you...
Because you're talking about a potential 4-point swing. St. Mary's able to get the ball after the possession arrow favored them, instead of maybe Corey Stout going the other way to shoot a couple of foul shots and perhaps making those foul shots.
Yeah, and that's huge. And another big thing is we talked about turnovers. Southern Virginia having 25 turnovers. St. Mary's having 28 points off the turnovers. You cut down half of those. this game isn't even close. This game would be over. Southern Virginia would have the win.
Yeah, because you could see how dominant these numbers are. You mentioned the 25 turnovers. When the Knights were able to get the ball down low to Shelby Butler and Katie Garish, they were very effective as Butler led the team in scoring with 15 points, Nash, and Katie Garish 13 points, 13 rebounds. So you can see when the Knights could get it down low to those two players, they were most effective.
Yeah, and that's how it was. The first half of the game was they were finding them, and then it really figured out, St. Mary's really figured out how to kind of defend that, and they would get steals, get turnovers off of that. As we see 17 steals for St. Mary's in this game, which is huge for them.
And maybe another key, I think about 2-3 minutes left in the game, we talked about how foul shooting could decide this game, and you mentioned at that particular point that Southern Virginia was shooting 75% from the foul line. For the game, they ended 14 of 24, so as we obviously saw the closing minutes of those fourth quarter, the Knights really missed a couple of big foul shots.
That was huge. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is pretty much just fundamentals, how you shoot your free throw shots, how you pass the ball, really trying to get the ball down low. Really tough game. As we check in on the Frostburg game right now, they're down 12 with only 30 seconds left, so Frostburg will probably come away with a loss.
So this was a big loss today for the Knights. It was not a killer loss. If Frostburg goes on to lose that game, they'll be 6-9. The Knights are actually 6-10, and the Knights will be 5-11. So the Knights will still trail Frostburg by a game with 2 games to go. And the Knights have a chance on Wednesday hosting Frostburg to beat them, and that would send it down to the final weekend against the Salisbury for the Knights next Saturday. The only problem is Frostburg will be hosting Wesley in their final game, and you would think they would be favored to beat Wesley. But right now, the Knights can't worry about any of that. All they can try to do in the next 3 days, Nash, is try to put this close loss to St. Mary's behind them and get ready for Frostburg on Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, is they're just going to have to win out right now. Is it's going to seem to beat Frostburg. Then Frostburg's probably going to have to lose the rest of their games, as we can jump ahead of them in the Capital Athletic Conference standings to push into the playoff picture.
So a tough loss once again in our first game today for Southern Virginia. They fall to St. Mary's. The Knights dropping to 5-11 in the Capital Athletic Conference. A tough loss for them. They lose to St. Mary's 67-65. Knights will be back at home taking on Frostburg on Wednesday. Don't forget, coming up in about 20 minutes or so, we'll have men's basketball for you as the Knights get ready to host St. Mary's in men's college basketball action. It'll be senior day. We'll honor the 3 seniors on the roster before the tip-off of our game coming up in about 20 minutes or so. That'll wrap things up temporarily here from the Knights Sports Arena. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us today for Knights women's basketball. Final score again, it was St. Mary's 67 and Southern Virginia 65.